Tonight, protecting children. The Catholic Church told to change its ways as the Royal Commission delivers its final report. A man jailed for 46 years for murdering his niece and dumping her body in a blowhole. Counting the cost, a recycling plant goes up in flames in Newcastle. And the multi-billion-dollar deal set to revolutionise the entertainment industry.
This is NBN News with Paul Lobb.
Good evening. Radical changes to the Catholic Church have been called for in a landmark report from the Royal Commission into Child Sexual Abuse. Close to 200 recommendations have been made, including a shake-up of centuries of religious tradition. The Commission warning governments and institutions they must not fail children again.
The Royal Commissioners arrive at the gates of Government House, greeted by survivors and supporters.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Before delivering their final report to the Governor-General.
I've dispatched the report to the Australian Government.
Over 5 years, nearly 8,000 survivors have told their stories to the Commission. It heard children had been sexually abused in 3,500 institutions. More than 2,500 matters have been referred to the police. The Commissioners have made in excess of 400 recommendations, including an Office for Child Safety in the Prime Minister's Department and a Federal Minister for Children. National mandatory reporting laws compelling religious ministers to report abuse revealed in the confessional. Protections for whistleblowers. It calls on the Catholic Church to make celibacy voluntary, saying it contributes to abuse.
Killing off confession is not going to help anybody.
The next step is compensation. The Commission wanted a national redress scheme to be in place by now. The legislation is still before the Parliament.
Over the next several weeks, we will start to see the larger jurisdictions and the churches and charities start opting into this scheme.
We would like to see that happen without any further delay.
For survivors Lee Powell and Nicole McEwen, it's been a lifelong struggle to be heard.
No one wants to know about it until now, till the Royal Commission.
And it just validated that I do tell the truth. I do.
Kerry Yaxley, NBN News.
A man has been handed a sentence just short of life for the sadistic and sexually motivated murder of his niece. Derek Barrett claimed he couldn't remember killing the 25-year-old or dumping her body in a blowhole on the Central Coast. But today a judge said that was an act.
A socially inadequate man driven by sexual perversion and sadism, Derek Barrett didn't fool anyone.
It's satisfying that we've got justice, but there's no joy in a matter like this. It's just an extremely sad case.
It was 2016 when Barrett bound and gagged his niece Mei Mei Ling in her bedroom, then took photographs of the terrified 25-year-old. Sometime over the next 2 days, he stabbed her dozens of times, then tossed her body into a blowhole on the Central Coast. And as if to torment Ms. Len's mother even further, he claimed to have only vague memories of the horrific chain of events because he had been using ice and synthetic cannabis.
He had the air in the witness box of someone playing a part and saying what he thought he should say to present the best possible impression of himself.
Ms. Lang was an only child. Her mother gazed almost blankly ahead as the man who took the centre of her life was jailed for a maximum 46 years.
He's very lucky he didn't get life imprisonment.
Derek Barrett stared intently at the floor of the dock throughout the entire sentence, his tears now only for himself, because while this wasn't technically a life sentence, he could be in his 70s before he is free again. Kelly Fedor, NBN News.
The owners of a recycling plant in Newcastle were today counting their losses after a blaze broke out in one of the sheds overnight. It's believed yesterday's intense heat sparked the fire, which caused extensive damage.
Fire investigators were on scene this morning working to determine what sparked the blaze that caused extensive damage to a shed here at Benedict Recycling overnight. Emergency services were called to the Mayfield West business just before 9 after the fire broke out. No one was on site at the time. The company today telling NBN News yesterday's extreme temperatures caused the fire, something police are still working to confirm. It's not the first time fire has broken out at the site this year. In September, a pile of material was found smouldering, prompting an emergency response. Today, the Environment Protection Authority was also called in to investigate. Benedict Recycling has been quick to reassure the public's safety concerns, saying it does not accept hazardous materials.
All of our products come from natural resources, so there is no hazard involved. The smoke was not at all dangerous to the public, and as I said, although it looked dramatic, the public was not at risk at all.
Emma Murphy, NBN News.
There were heated scenes during a site inspection at Caves Beach where a proposed mobile phone tower is set to be built. Community members fear that if approved by the council, the health of nearby residents and children could be at risk.
Right idea, wrong location. That's the message from these Caves Beach residents.
Children are our future. Well, look after their future, please.
We've got a situation where, yep, we need better mobile phone coverage, but not in such a sensitive area.
Telstra looks to build a 35-metre high tower in bush off Scenic Drive, a site which has caused quite a stir within the community.
Residents 25 metres. We've got a retirement village just down the hill, 40 metres.
Last night, Lake Macquarie City Council staff and councillors met with residents and a Telstra representative during an inspection of the earmarked location. As last-minute pleas were made, tensions heightened. Mayor Kay Fraser caught up in the heat. Council says at the end of the meeting, the Telstra rep said he'd speak with management about other locations.
At this stage on Monday night, the only recommendation we have is from the staff to approve the tower. But if Telstra comes back to us and asks us to delay that process, well, we will do that.
Telstra today told NBN News the site was chosen as it best meets the objectives of quality mobile coverage while considering environmental and visual impacts. It also adds that health and safety is taken very seriously and that it will consider residents' input from the meeting.
This one is definitely not the site, and if I've got anything to do with it, it's not happening.
Talia Sav, NBN News.
The proposed Rocky Gloucester has been knocked back by the Planning and Assessment Commission. The decision, nearly 10 years in the making, was refused on environmental grounds, as well as due to its visual effect on the valley and it not being in the public interest. It follows a 2-day hearing of the Commission in November. A huge boost for the region as Lake Macquarie gets set to host Australia's richest stand-up paddleboard contest. Redhead Beach will come alive in January with $23,000 up for grabs at the new event.
Showcases our beaches internationally and nationally, and also brings in some of the best competitors. So we'll see some of our young surfers, our young surfers. They'll see some of these surfers going around, and it'll excite them, and hopefully it promotes the sport even more.
It's part of the Lake Mac Festival of Surfing, which will launch Surffest 2018. Just over a month ago, we covered the story of severely disabled sailor Wendy Evans setting off to sail around Lake Macquarie. Tonight, we're happy to report that Wendy has achieved her goal. Met by a flotilla of dinghies from Toronto's Sailability, she completed the final stage of her journey today. It was a dream nearly 20 years in the making for Wendy and achieved with the support of friends, family and Sailability volunteers. And Wendy, congratulations from everyone here. Still to come, the battle for Bennelong reaches fever pitch ahead of tomorrow's crucial by-election.
For Boxing Day, massive 5-day sale at Domain with guaranteed better than Boxing Day prices on computers, TVs, white goods and small appliances. Save on all the big brands. The sale on top of the sale. Hurry, ends Monday at Domain.
Aussies celebrate Christmas outdoors. Time to wrap up your gardening with Still. Voted #1 for quality. Still makes stunning gardens easy with grass trimmers from $179, chainsaws from $249, hedge trimmers from $299, and for the perfect finish, blowers from $269. An Aussie Christmas starts with Still.
Visit your local Hunter Still dealer. Christmas home sale at Spotlight. 50% off all Everest quilts, pillows and more. Mixing match by Dwell quilt cover sets all sizes, $39. Up to 70% off a huge range of towels. Exclusions apply. Rush into Spotlight now.
What's your flavour? What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour? What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour? What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour?
What are we doing this weekend?
Just the usual.
Inflatable Unicorn or Swan, half price, $24.99. Happy Honours, $14.99. Play more, pay less.
We're slashing prices at the Good Guys.
Espresso Tommy Letizia with touch.
Only $3.47. 15% off HP and Lenovo computers.
Dyson Origin Barrel Vacuum.
Only $4.98. Plus, stores open late this Christmas.
Don't let osteoarthritis pain slow you down. Get more out of your day with Voltaren Osteogel 12-hourly from Chemist Warehouse. Applied directly to the joint, it's an anti-inflammatory gel that provides pain relief for up to 12 hours. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Voltaren Osteogel 12-hourly is just $26.99. Relieve pain all day long and do more with your day. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Oh, that's yours, mate, that's yours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mozzies make a mess of family time. Protect yours with Aerogard odorless spray. And have a good weekend.
To achieve the best standard, it takes determination.
At Maitland and Port Stevens Toyota, we're always striving for excellence.
So for your next vehicle, talk to the team who achieve excellence. The Burton family. Maitland and Port Stevens Toyota. Don't wait for Boxing Day. Massive 5-day sale at Domain with guaranteed better than Boxing Day prices on computers, TVs, white goods and small appliances. Save on all the big brands. The sale on top of the sale. Hurry, ends Monday at Domain.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says tomorrow's Bennelong by-election is a judgment on his government and his leadership. With everything at stake, Labor candidate Christina Keneally today doubled down on her claims the PM is a China-phobic.
A vicious campaign getting a bit upside down.
Stop education cuts!
Right, I need to stop lying. Swarming the Prime Minister, a ragtag bunch of protesters in a high event.
Excuse me, please get out. Excuse me.
With Mr Turnbull's majority government at stake, a usually confident at all costs PM showed a glimpse of vulnerability.
This will bring Bill Shorten closer to being Prime Minister.
And Christina Keneally played what she thinks is her most powerful attack card.
Enough of your China-phobic rhetoric that is dividing the community.
In an electorate where 20% of the community is Chinese, reaction to the Prime Minister pursuing Sam Dastyari over a donor's links to the Chinese government could hold the key. Either way.
That somehow we should be suspicious of people who are from China, who are in this country.
There are 1 million Australians of Chinese ancestry. One of them is my granddaughter.
John Alexander knows this by-election is far from a gift. He spent all day fending off accusations his $5 million Southern Highlands investment property wasn't declared properly.
Look, we know that Mr. Alexander isn't very good with his paperwork, but it's up to him to explain that.
I only had to show that I had bought a property. I don't have to show what the income is.
Chris O'Keefe, NBN News.
Overseas now, and a train has ploughed into a school bus in the south of France, killing 4 children. The crash happened at a level crossing in the town of Perpignan, ripping the bus in half. 20 people were injured. The royal family has led a memorial service honouring the 71 people killed in London's Grenfell Tower fire. Emergency service workers and